Hey, welcome to Fancy Crafts. Okay, so anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I'm using this mold again, and I'm going to be placing this and this little flower down. But I'm going to be flipping it over and putting it face down so you can see it. But that is what I'm going to be doing today. And I got this little froggy, and it came with this. It was hooked together. I tore them apart. And I got them at the dollar store for $1. But we're going to go ahead and give this a try and see how it turns out. A lot of people like little frogs. Okay, I mixed up 40 grams of A, 38 grams of B. I'm just kind of roughing it off of the chart that I have. And I'm just gonna, I mixed it really good, and I put emerald green, and I already threw it away because it emptied. I was not thinking about that, sorry guys, but it's emerald green alcohol ink. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and, oh my goodness, this is not gonna, we're gonna see how well this plays out. I might have to scoot some of it down in, and I will do that and clean it all up once I get that far. I'm just gonna try getting it in and getting it to flow first. And then I'll worry about cleaning it up. There we go. It's going a little bit smoother. Try getting this as full as I can. Being a little bit on the messy side today, I guess. Okay, I'll go ahead and stop it right there. And I am going to just get my little tool here and just push as much of it as I can down in. And I'll just use a baby wipe to wipe the excess off, because I want to get this as cleaned up as I can before I use a baby wipe on it. Okay. Sorry, it's been a hot minute for me to jump on here. I didn't have any epoxy because we were a little bit low on funds this past week, but hopefully I'll be bouncing back on more. Starting this week for you guys. Okay, so I did that. I'm just gonna try getting the rest of this in over here, and then I'll finish cleaning it up. Oops, before it drips down on there. And I think that's about it, all I'm going to get out of this. Okay, so let me go ahead and clean my stick up. And I need to get my trash can a little bit closer to me. Okay, now I am just going to go ahead and put alcohol down to get those bubbles to come up, and hopefully they come up without a problem. Like there's some right there. I'll use this little silicone just to get it put down there. Okay, now I'm just gonna go ahead and clean it up some and try my best just to do where it needs it. And I'm gently not pushing down because I don't want to scratch the mold. And I'm just gonna go until I can get it cleaned up. Yeah, you got to be careful so you're not scratching the top part of your mold when you're doing this process. I've not had any issues with this mold with me doing this technique here. Okay, so I've got it pretty much to where I want it within means. The alcohol did help clean it up a lot better. And then we'll just wait for the next step. Let me get a new baby wipe. And that's pretty much to this step here. Just trying to clean it up a little bit on the edges. And I've got a couple bubbles. I'll just kind of use this silicone cone. Okay. And that's pretty much it. And we'll just let this set up. And then I will be back to do the next step with this. And I'll catch you in a bit. Bye. Okay, I'm back to do the next step, which is this frog with the little flower. And I'm just going to go ahead and dump some clear in. Got something in there. Okay, so here we go. Hold on 1 minute. I gotta let the cat in. Come on, come on. No. Zippy, come on. You being a bad boy? Zippy, are you being a bad boy? He thinks he's got to be in the same room as me. Very spoiled. Okay, so I got that. I'm gonna push it to where it needs to go. I'm just cleaning my stick off. Okay. And I'll get it a place where it needs to be with this, and then we'll do the next step. And for some reason, I don't know what is going on. I've got to see if I can fix that. It feels or looks like it's bowing in the middle, and it should not be doing that. I might have to add a little more clear to this. But let me get this pushed as far as I can get it. Okay. I do not know what is going on with this. I think that's about it. All right, I'm gonna just make up a little bit more clear. Let me go ahead and do that. Bless you, Zippy. You got the sneezes. All right, I'm almost done here. Okay. So I mixed up a little bit more. I did 75 grams of A and 67 grams of B in the first. And then I am just doing 30 grams of A and 29 grams of B is what I put in this. It was a little bit calculated different, but it'll still work just the same. So let me mix it up good. And then I'll dump it in as well. Let me go ahead and get some of these bubbles out of here. And I'm gonna try moving some of it over. I don't know what the heck. Let me try bringing this around. I'm seeing where I get with that. Okay, and then whatever I don't use in this, I can put in something else. I'm not too worried about it. I just want to make sure I have enough coverage for all of it. So let me go ahead and push it where it needs to be. And I think that's about it. So let me go ahead and clean up my mess real quick. And get some of these bubbles out of here. All right, I did it with that. I'm going to go ahead and spray some alcohol on there just as well to get some of the bubbles. Okay, and now I am going to go ahead and place the frog. And hopefully we have all the bubbles moved out of there. And I'm not worried about where it's filling in some of the holes. I'm not going to really worry about that. Actually, I do believe I want him over here though. So let me go ahead and just move him over. Hopefully we got enough bubbles out of there. And I will just let this kind of go over top on this one side. I'm not worried about it because I am going to be putting resin over top of the back of him. So I am not worried. I'm just trying to make sure I have all of the bubbles out from underneath of the frog. And then I will just place this flower down in and place it right there. And then we'll let this set up, and then I will come back in with the next coat, and we'll just go from there. And I will be back. Okay, I am back for the final. I have mixed up 75 grams of A, 67 grams of B, and I have split them into 3 different cups. And I'm going to go ahead and just get started with this. I have Sapphire Blue by Let's Resin, and I'm just going to put a good squirt in the big cup and mix it up good. And I think that's pretty good. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want it to be too terrible dark. Okay, so there's that one. And then I have, it's just white alcohol ink. And I'm going to just put a decent squirt in the other. And I'll mix it up really good. Okay, so that's what I have for that. And I'll set it aside. And then I have the Forest, I think that's what it is, but it's a green by Let's Resin. Jared Green. I'm sorry, it's Jared Green. Could not read it that good. I just put a decent squirt of it in. So we have Jared Green. All right, so I have that mixed, and I'm going to leave it like it is, and I'm just going to get started here. And I'm just going to go right across the top. And hopefully we have enough to cover this in. And I'm just going to scrape as much of this out as I can get. And I'm just going to move it to the edges a little bit of what I can here. And hopefully it'll just level out the way I'm wanting it to. And just like that. I'm not too worried about it being down in here and that I've dripped, because you're not going to see that from the front side anyways. So, okay, there's that. And I'll just clean my stick off. And then I'm going to do the green down this way. And kind of level this out a little. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out, but I guess we'll see, won't we? And it may not cover the whole frog, but that's not going to matter because you're not going to see the bottom of this anyways. And I'll try getting this as leveled out as I can down on the bottom. And I think we're pretty good with that. Okay. And I'll clean that stick off. And set it aside. And then I'm just going to mix this one a little bit more. And I'm just going to go right down through the center. And up through the blue a little bit. And I'm just going to kind of run my stick down through there a little bit because I want it to have like a little bit of a cloudy look to the blue. I'm hoping that this is going to work out. And I am just going to run my stick up through, just kind of going with the flow of this. Okay, I think we've got it. It's not going to matter if it flows down and into the green either. I'm not worried about that. I just wanted to kind of break it up a little bit and do something a little bit different. And then I am just going to take my little torch here And I'm just going to let it go at that. And I will be back in the morning to demold it, and we'll see what we get. And I'm pretty excited about how this one's going to look. So it did cover up the frog for the most part. The only spot that it really didn't is right there. There. I'll just go ahead and just add a little bit more. There. So it pretty much covered up the frog within means of its little foot here sticking up, but I am not worried about that because you're not going to see that side of it anyways. All right, I will catch you guys in the morning and we will demold this then, and yeah, I'll be back. Good morning, everyone. Okay, this is good and set up. It didn't do bad in the mold. It covered it up, just a little spot there and there, but I'm not going to worry about that because that's not the part you're going to see. Okay, I'm just going to pull this whole part up, and this is the bottom part of it. So anyways, I had glued all the pieces together so it wouldn't fall apart because I put my mold back in it to keep its shape. So I'm just going to flip this over, and I am going to set it aside. Okay, so here we go. We're just going to break the seal the whole way around. Oops, got a very sharp edge right there. There we go. Came right off. I might have to do a little bit of sanding on the bottom part, but I'm not worried about it. Let me break the seal, and it's a very easy mold to come off. And I just pull it gently. I still have the one corner there, and just pop it back in place. And that is it. Like I said, there is going to be a little bit of sanding on the bottom of this, but I'm not worried. I'm just hoping that there are not any holes, and I do feel one hole, but that's okay because I'll show you guys how to fix that. Okay, hey, wow, that was pretty good. There's only one hole right there. Now, instead of using your UV resin, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show you guys a different way to fix this. Okay, I have one little Dixie cup, and I'm going to go ahead and measure it out because I shouldn't need a whole lot. So let me go ahead and do that. That was pretty good for just having that one little hole. Okay, so I have my epoxy mixed up. Let me get a baby wipe. Or I have it measured out, not mixed. Okay. And I will just mix it really good. Okay. This will take me a second. You just want to make sure your epoxy is good and mixed. Okay. I just wanted to show you guys up close. See, there's the little hole. And that was the only air bubble this one had. So, and did you guys see, before I show, it's got tinted green down here, some white in here, and blue up in here. That was my whole goal. And there is the sides of it. Well, I'm getting it all gooey from touching it. My hands must have been not a big deal. Just wipe it up a little bit. But yeah, so that's all there is to it. All right, let me just wipe my edges off. I should have showed you guys that before I did the mix. That's okay, because it'll be easy to wipe up. These trays make nice little trays for people. They really do. You can do a lot of things with these little trays. Okay, so I've got it all mixed up. And I am just going to pour right down over top of it. Okay, and I'm going to get my little tool here, and I'm just going to spread it, because you don't need a whole lot. Not a whole lot at all. And we're just going to spread it as far as it'll go, and then I'll probably have to put more in. But like I said, I'm not worried about that either. You just want to make sure this hole is good and covered in, because once it's covered in, you'll never even be able to tell that it was there. Okay. Now I'm just going to pour a little more in so I can spread some more. And I'm going to do it around the edges. Okay, I have a feeling I am going to need the rest of this, so I'm just going to get around those corners there, because they look like they are the ones that need it the most. Okay, set that aside. And this is self-rising epoxy. It's a 4-hour. I'll show you what I've used. And just give me a minute to get this pushed out. And usually if you dab your little tool in there, it'll help like take away some of the bubbles and some of the other stuff you may have missed. Just lightly though. And it ain't gonna matter if you come up on the sides, because it should drain back down and level out. All right, now I think I've got it all. I'm just gonna come around and spin this around so I can see where I'm at over here, because I definitely want to make sure I get it all. And I'll spin it back around. Okay, I'm just going to set that aside. And get all the bubbles that I can. I still got to play with it a little bit. And I see there is a bubble right there, but I think that is right in his little eye. It is, which I'm not worried about because you're not going to really notice it. But there is a little bubble that did get trapped in his eye from that last pour. Not a big deal because you really can't notice it unless you're looking. So I just want to make sure there's no floaties or anything like that. And there you have it. So it covered that little hole up. You can't even tell. I think it looks really good other than just that one little bubble up by his eye. That's the only bubble I see in there. And there you guys have it. So another beautiful piece done. So I'll put this right up here. I'm trying to get it to where it's not glaring. There you guys have it. Very simple. Just a dollar store wind chime is all that was needed for this one. And that is it. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys on the next live. Bye.